And welcome back to the channel. Behind me is a JZX90. You know what that means. If you are new to the channel, Mr. Brad has pulled up. So this thing is badass. I'm sure we'll have to go run out for some parts, so maybe I'll ask him to take this thing and we'll drive it around. It's like, I don't know, makes like 500 plus. Forgot if it's 2J or 1J, but anyways, today we are getting some wiring stuff sorted for the R34. I guess the whole plan today is to pull off the RB harness, the lower harness that does a lot of the power stuff, power supply, and then the rest of the harness so that we can figure out what we need and what to get rid of, as well as for the JZ. I think Brad said that he wanted to also pull this harness off. So there is a lot of things on here that we don't need and will need to get cleaned up. We're keeping stock coil packs, so igniter will stay. These are all of the engine plugs, but there's a couple things we can get rid of. And then on this side, we want to make sure that the headlights and everything else that Nissan decided to keep as part of the engine harness is going to be able to get power. Try and put power straight to the fuse box so that we can make sure what does work and what doesn't work. We're going to be getting rid of ABS. That delete from GK Tech is on its way. Windshield wiper we'll want to keep, but this will keep a lot of this area clean, and hopefully if we want to hide some stuff, we can do that as well. Brad is over here starting to take apart the lower harness stuff. That all connects to like automatic transmission and shit that we're not going to need as well. And then some of these plugs on this side we'll have to keep that go through the firewall and stuff, but the stock ECU plug we'll be getting rid of. He said we got to keep this, which goes to the, I guess, the main harness inside, right? This plug.
Yep.
And then a couple of these other ones maybe, depending on what they are, but luckily he said it's pretty close to S14, and there's also a bunch of write-ups and diagrams for R34s, which is hopefully going to help us compared to the headache that had to go through with the Crown. So we're going to get started. I'm going to grab a razor blade, try and do some helping, and we'll go from there. I'll update you guys in a little bit and kind of show you the process of figuring out what we need and what we don't. So R34 1J, let's get to work. Hazards? I mean, for tails and stuff?
Like tails, yeah, looks like everything.
Headlights. Yeah. Yeah, tail lights are on. I guess rear blinkers should be the same, no? That corner light's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's working. Yeah, the toll reader system. I don't know, should I try like door lights and windows? I mean, yeah, door locks and windows, or?
Just try everything over here, just flip it on.
Hell yeah. Lock and unlock work. Other than that, like.
Yeah. Try the blower motor.
I have the fuse out because these AC systems, they get stuck on full blast only, and like you have to take them apart and like resolder stuff. And so when it was like 50 degrees, it was blowing max AC cold. So I just took that out. Yeah. You're good. I took the key out.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So okay, so the other thing we gotta worry about is
Damn. So what are those?
I don't know. They might just power for the harness. That's what we gotta check. Make sure it's
true.
Wired, but
I didn't think headlights and all that would work.
Yeah, I didn't know. It was just the wiper and stuff. But whatever this feeds. Find out.
Dope. So
Looking at diagrams.
I was gonna say what? All we did was just hook up power and ground, a power to this. You didn't even put power to this, no?
No, I'm not sure what that is. Might be an alternator.
So putting this wire right here straight up to the fuse box, and then just holding it on to power, and then just made a ground just to figure out and make sure that this powers everything we needed it to. So, I mean, AC turned on, so at least that is getting power. So blower motor and stuff should be under the same thing.
Yeah, it should be.
All right, sweet. So this is RB harness. And all right, Brad, what are we using?
Yeah, a lot of it's unused. It's all ABS or automatic transmission related stuff, or RB20 related stuff. Really, it's just the wiper plug and the its connection to the chassis harness behind the dash here, and then probably this power relay will be used to get power to the standalone. But
this ABS,
yeah, this is all ABS.
ABS,
or stock RB engine stuff that obviously we don't need.
Stock ECU plug.
Yeah, that's all unneeded.
And then we don't know exactly what these two are, right? But
it seems like they're all ABS and automatic transmission. I know this plug's got a lot of automatic related stuff, so I'm gonna assume we don't need any of it. We'll save it, but it's probably not required at all, honestly.
Or start keeping like 10% of it, right?
Not even.
I was gonna say, like
less than 5% of it, honestly.
2 plugs, a few extra wires, and then this is the full engine harness off of the RB.
Yeah.
Damn. Pretty much what we showed you guys setting up the power to the car. This is gonna be what that stuff is, right? This is pretty much how we set up to test all the lights. This is what that's gonna be. Just power to the fuse box, as well as the starter, a ground, and goes to the alternator.
Yep.
So sick. All right, so maybe a couple hours later, this should be all of the RB side of things that we're going to be reusing. All of this is leftover harness stuff, things that we shouldn't be using. But yeah, over here we've got, you see, AC switch. We've got speed signal from the cluster. We have TAC 12-volt ignition. And then coming over here, we have got 5-volt supply pressure sensor, AC relay, key 12-volt, let's see, battery, main relay, but 12-volt, okay, and then refrigerant pressure sensor. So I know you guys probably didn't care on what these are, but oh yeah, and then ground, and oh yeah, we already said that one. So all of this stuff we should be able to check. I think we're actually going to be hooking this up to the wiper motor, and then make sure that the inside of the car is going to power it on and work. That way we know that the harness is okay, and the rest of the wires and stuff we're going to be able to use. So yeah, then Jay-Z, gonna look over the Jay-Z stuff. Goodbye, Mr. Brad. Let's see if he gives a little bit of souse. Brad just left. Only like 4 or 5 hours we've kind of been doing both of the harnesses. We got the intake off of the Jay-Z so that we could pull the whole harness off of it. Took a couple measurements on some things that we needed to extend. Got rid of a couple like BS sensors, and then I'll also get rid of some of the hard lines and hard pipes on that side that I'm not gonna use. But outside of that, he took both of the, well, I say both of the harnesses, but this is the RB harness. He took the Jay-Z harness home with him so that the couple plugs that we took off of this, he can adapt into the Jay-Z. And then you guys saw earlier that we made the R34 have power so we could check lights and all of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, long story short, the couple plugs that we are gonna need from the RB stuff, he took home so that he can adapt it and make it run on the Jay-Z harness. And then in a couple days, hopefully he will be back. The harness, we're gonna strip the harness in terms of like all of the crappy heat shielding and plastic stuff that the JZ harness had on it. I'm gonna order up some loom wrap so that we can tape the harness up and make it super nice. And then from there, it will be able to go in. He also did take the plug and play harness with him, and a couple of the plugs that were on the crown that ran to the stock ECU, because the crown was super overcomplicated compared to this 34. All of the stuff in there ran through the stock ECU instead of being controlled like by itself or on its own relays. So that was not fun. If you guys were here for that, that was not fun. But the Skyline is not like that. The ECU basically, like, it has some readings and stuff in it, but most of the things on the actual 34 is just ran by sensors, powers, relays. So that will be good. But in terms of this video, a lot of the stuff I probably filmed was a bit boring, or maybe not that much content actually. I'll try and cop down some of the talking and stuff that I did. With that being said, I don't have to ramble on and talk a lot more to fill out a whole video. I will catch you guys in a couple days when I am back here and able to work on getting the 34 ready. See you guys. And welcome back. It is a new day, and I was going to start the second half of this video with a bunch of wiring and stuff, but Brad ended up saving me. We finished up all the stuff that I showed you guys on both of the harness. He took it home, he got rid of some stuff on the JZ that we weren't using, and then he made it really nice. So speaking of Brad, he should be on his way here soon. 34 is up in the air. I brought some fuel line with me. I brought some clamps, so we'll get that clamped up after that filter. And then today, I want first start. So the harness he's bringing back should not only be able to run all of the engine side stuff, as well as hook up to the ECU masters, which I think I put in the 34. It should also be able to run everything else in the car. So we'll be able to make sure that key power works, radio works, AC works, although it won't work because obviously it has no Freon in it. Headlights, turn signals, tail lights, running lights, all the stuff that we had previously, well, we hope to make it work. And then the one thing that I'm changing out that I wanted to show you guys, oil filter housing. This is the rod that goes through, and at the end of it is the JZ oil pressure sensor. So we're going to be taking off this oil pressure sensor. We're going to be threading on the RB oil pressure sensor, and then the stock RB oil pressure sensor wires should be added to the JZ. All right, so quick update. We ended up getting the oil filter housing on the main banjo stud bolt. I put the RB oil pressure sensor in. I called Brad and confirmed because he is on his way. So I just wanted to make sure I could put this on before I put the engine in. I wanted to get rid of most of this hardline stuff. It's just vacuums to like some stock ECU, I want to say like a boost pressure sensor on the inside and manifold pressure. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what they do. He said we shouldn't need them, but keep them there just in case. I took off the power steering line stuff because it was just getting in the way. I made sure that the intake manifold was tight. I routed some of the stuff, even some of the capped vacuum lines that I had on before. All right, so about, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes later, I kind of surprised myself getting this engine and trans in, just because it could be a bit tricky clearing the rack. This is actually the first time I had the rack in with the RB hard lines, just to kind of see how they fit. And the engine is sitting in here, so I haven't put it in the air to kind of see if it is hitting anything, or if I need to shave or clearance or move lines. But what I am very hyped about is last time we test fit, if you guys watched the other videos, on the first time that we put this JZ in, I still had the automatic shifter. So I took out the automatic shifter, and check this out. Boom. The R154 seems to land right in the middle of where that shifter is. So that's good news. Hopefully I don't have to cut or make anything. I could just get the manual R34 GTT centering, but now you guys know who this is. That's Brad. He probably, oh, is he gonna look at the camera? Nah, he's the engine is in. I forgot if I showed that already. And this is the harness that he got finished up. So
yeah, it's basically 1J harness that's been modified to get power from the Nissan chassis plugs and, you know, refrigerant pressure switches and alternator wiring and everything that needs to go from the Nissan chassis side to the JZ harness side.
There's like two main things that go inside the car, correct?
Yeah.
This switch and then this plug.
That plug gives switch keyed power and stuff to the relay to give power to all the EFI harness stuff. And there's some other plugs. That's the power supply to the relay and the AC pressure sensors, wires, and had to run the starter wire from the fuse box to the starter on the other side of the motor.
Because of RB to JZ.
Yeah, different location, different kind of plug, and then wires for the alternator, so the Nissan charge light on the dash works and everything works like it's like OEM.
But yeah,
so, yeah.
Left it like this so that we can try everything, and then brought like loom to make it look nicer and tuck stuff away.
Yep.
But this was just in case that we had to cut it off. And then you got rid of that big plastic piece that goes under the intake manifold.
The plastic loom cover that would have gone over all of this that makes the harness hard to remove. Just gonna get rid of it, tape it all up nicely.
And the goal is to try and put the ECU inside the engine bay. This corner right here is where it stopped on. It came out right here under the intake manifold and then dropped itself down. So with that off, I mean, we should be able to stretch it. This ABS block is going to go. I have the ABS delete from GK Tech. So that'll open up a lot more room, but we'll be able to go straight from this corner in there. And as long as it has enough length to kind of go around that AC box stuff, then we should be able to have the ECU in there, whether I tuck it on the kick panel, or which I'd like to do, but it is bulky. So, I mean, worst case, I put it in the glove box and stuff for now. But igniter should also go in there with the ECU. And then, yeah, I mean, that's really about it. So I just wanted to show you guys this before we started throwing it on the engine. And then the last thing that you said you have to figure out, which we're going to do after the harness, is
alternator wiring. Yeah, there's 2 wires and there's no diagram for the Skyline alternator wiring, so
that's what pulling this out and
yeah,
it's like guess or 1 or 2, and you said what, you know,
if I'm wrong, I might blow a fuse, but
then we'll replace it and go from there. So sick. I meant to bring the radiator that I got off Jake and the shroud that I actually got off Brad for an SR, because the SR compared to the KA has the same crossover tube that the JZ does, and then it's also bottom left. So I wanted to bring that today. Hopefully, I mean, Brad was saying that most radiators should, you know, fit on these
Skyline,
on these same little tabs. Yeah, so I mean, I figured it'd work. There's a lot more room than I thought there was going to be. So, and this radiator is not that thick, so that'll be nice. Hopefully that can be hooked up, but for today, you know, we don't need to hook that up. So we're going to get into throwing the harness on and then figure out, I guess, what else needs to be added. Harness and stuff should be almost all temporarily where it should be. Couple things we had to do on the fuse box. Batteries hooked up, starters hooked up, and we haven't set up all of the fuel pump stuff yet, and so we rigged it up so that there's an external battery. Basically, just when we go to start the car, I'll put the ground somewhere on the chassis, and then this goes to the positive, so I'll be able to touch that. It'll give power to that fuel pump, and then we'll at least get fuel up to the engine, make sure that it starts for a couple, because, you know, we don't have radiator, we don't have intercooler, we don't have any of that stuff, but at least it'll be able to turn on. And then right now, Brad is hooking up to the ECU to basically like go through and test all the sensors before the engine's on, correct?
Yep.
Make sure throttle body stuff works. Like you'll be able to see VVTi solenoids, stuff like that.
Yeah, test everything, test all the outputs.
Sweet, make sure we're not missing anything. And then, do we need to mess with these or the alternator stuff yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
After we know it runs.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So we're gonna go through this, and then we'll make sure that everything on the 34 works before we get it started. And yeah, I'll set the camera up somewhere. Yeah.
Leave that on.
How?
ECU's got power. Let me test the throttle.
No radio, but
The radio?
Just the girl that's talking to me. Oh, I just had to turn it on. No, that's funny. Yeah, all that stuff should work.
Turn the key back off.
Keys.
Turn it back on. Just make sure it's not like getting stuck on or anything. Just it's not, so that's good. Let me test all the
Headlights work.
all the outputs.
Blinkers work.
Yeah.
See if these tails work. Tails on. She's talking to me again. Sheesh. They sound like a tractor. Open down pipe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not even open down pipe. Open turbo.
Yeah.
Good? Yeah. Alright, it's on.
Cool.
ECU's on.
Yeah. Go ahead. We're near the vacuum line, but
That's that long one, by the way.
yeah. Oh, this.
If it means anything. Yeah. Hey! About to drop you guys in the wheel. Hell yeah. Tractor, it's a tractor and it's so stinky right now. No vacuums hooked up. This one, brake booster. I'm also saying this so I can go back and look, and then these two go back on. And I think that's really it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well fuel pump's going, so should we try turning it back on again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, as the sun's going down, we have another box to check on the checklist. So I just took off the fuel pump relay that we set up for the Crown when I had the battery relocation in the trunk. I just took out the fuel pump assembly and hanger from the Crown. It still has like some fuel in it, so it did. We're gonna swap this over and put it onto the 34. I don't know exactly what pump this is. I want to say it's a Hellcat pump, but I know everybody be saying Hellcat pump, so I'll look that up real quick and I'll let you guys know if it comes up with any CFM or anything. But anyways, we're gonna be swapping this over to the 34. We're gonna be taking the fuel pump relay and making one for the 34, and then that will be able to finally be turned on by, well, the switch. And then we won't have that weak little RB20 DE Neo fuel pump in there. So sun's going down. Let's get to it real quick and see what we can wrap up before it gets too late.
I don't know if you can see like that angle, that like.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's a bracket that slides up like that.
You got it?
Yeah.
Damn, that was less than 5 seconds.
And then
Brad told me get the fuck out the way. Let me do it.
And this plug here is for the level sender. You do have to unplug this.
What? And then, so did a hose pop off of that? What's that nipple in the middle?
This?
Yeah.
That's the return.
Return. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And then, so we ended up looking it up, and Brad confirmed that this is a 450, not a 520 or whatever a Hellcat is. So it is, let's see, part number F9274, and then I think the Hellcat ones are like 283 or something like that, made by the same people. So I mean, this is high quality. When this thing had big turbo 2J in it and Tyler was getting it tuned and finishing all that stuff, he ended up spending the money on this fuel pump. So we're gonna use it. It doesn't draw nearly as much amperage as the Hellcat pumps do, so hopefully we should be good on that note and it doesn't burn it up. But after we start driving it and stuff, Brad told me to feel the connectors and stuff on the top hat and just make sure that it's not all super hot. But these should draw around 15. I think stock is like 10 to 12, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, about that.
So shouldn't be too bad. We looked it up in real, like the Hellcat ones, which are, you know, a lot more CFM or what LPH, liters per hour, I think is what they go off of. Those draw between 20 and 25. So a lot more than this, which is over double what stock is. So yeah, we should be all right. We'll try it out and go from there. Welcome back. It is actually the next morning, early in the morning, and before I get all the cars moved out of the shop, I wanted to finish up editing this video and get it out so we can have more videos out. But I'm just going to sum up what we finished. The sun was going down. We were doing the fuel pump relay, ended up getting that all sorted, ran that power wire that goes to the ECU underneath all of the carpet and dash. I also pulled off the battery relocation, like thick 1 or 2 gauge wire, power wire from the crown, and I ran it all the way under the seats, through the center trim stuff on the passenger side and through the carpet. So it's all hitted through the firewall and to the starter. So the battery relocation should be good and set up. I just have to put the battery back there with some sort of battery box, and then put a ground that goes somewhere in the trunk, and that is all sorted. The ECU will have power off of the switch. The fuel pump wiring is all soldered together and closed up, so that is good. Fuel pump will turn on with the key now. And yeah, that should be done. Brad ended up finishing up looming everything, so the harness is up there on the engine. I didn't get to put it back all connected just because it got late, but we'll get to that in the next video when we start fixing some other stuff and start installing a lot of parts that we got for this thing. So I just wanted to update you guys, let you guys know that the relocation, the relay, the harness, all of that stuff should be a-okay. And well, in the next video, hopefully now we're gonna start modifying the car. So I'm very excited for it. Hopefully you guys are excited for it. And I know this video maybe wasn't too interesting, but I hope you learned something, or I hope, you know, 5 years down the road, somebody wanting to do a 1J swap on a 34 finds this video and, I don't know, uses some sort of info. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later.